Alright, this your boy Fred the Corp, you know what I'm saying? Tampa, Florida, stand up. Alright, I'm gonna do this quick, give you some quick tips on Fantasy 2010. You know what I'm saying? For anybody who never drafted before, this is your first time drafting, you don't know anything about fantasy. Alright, check this out, Usually a normal league is a 10-man league, you have your draft day, and normally in the league, your commissioner, he would set a draft day, or you would know the order of the draft a week ahead of the draft, or y'all would pick names out the hat the day of the draft. Now I'm going to give you a couple quick strategies. Alright, first, for anybody at the draft, never drink beer at the draft, because if you drink beer, it will, and when I mean will, not let you have the best draft if you were sober. So always be sober, don't smoke, don't drink. Go to the draft, have your game plan ready, and don't talk to people, don't tell them your ideas, don't be like, oh, this guy, I think this guy's good. What do you think about this guy? And if people ask you questions, you always either agree with them or don't give them too much insight. Alright, now this year, in 2010, the draft, we really don't have a lot of elite running backs. So I'm going to tell you. So, if you're in a 10-man league, the best picks to me, honestly, is pick 1 and 10. Now, some say picks 1 through 5 is good, but I'm going to explain to you why they are not. Okay, now, if you end up with picks 4 through 8, you're in trouble. You better be on your A game. If you get picks 4 through 8, just be on your A game. See, because in a 10-man draft, if you get the first pick in the draft, you have to wait 20 selections before you pick again. So pretty much when you get the first pick in the draft, you putting all your marbles in one jar. You know what I'm saying? But some people are good, and you always got stupid people in your leagues who just don't know how to draft. They may just do some outrageous pick with like the 3rd or the 4th pick, and they're gonna leave good players for you. Now, if you get the 10th pick in the draft, that is a good pick because you're not trapped. You're not trapped with one of these guys like, let's say, Maurice Jones-Drew. You're not trapped with him. You don't have to pick him. You have the option of picking back-to-back. You get 2 selections back-to-back. So you could do like an Andre Johnson, Aaron Rodgers, boom, boom. And you could have a number 1 quarterback and a number 1 wide receiver. Now, don't get the 10th pick and screw it over. Don't do anything retarded like wide receiver. Don't do that, please. Don't do wide receiver. Never do that. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's Andre Johnson and Fitzgerald, just don't do it. So always try to get a running back in the 1st round or the 2nd round. So I've known a couple of good strategies, and taking a quarterback in the 1st round is typically not good. Quarterbacks are deep this year. You don't have to get Peyton Manning. You don't have to reach for Drew Brees. You can let other people in your draft get those guys. You get another good running back. You know what I'm saying? And then later in the draft, by around like 7 or 8, you can get you a steal with like a Joe Flacco, or you can get a steal with like a Kevin Cobb. These guys are going to give you the same production pretty much as your 2nd tier quarterbacks like Phillip Rivers or your Eli Mannings. So you can wait on quarterbacks. What I will say is for you to stock up and get 3 good running backs. At least try to get 2 running backs in the top 13, 14. Get you two guys that every week they're gonna get the ball. And I know it's hard this year because the problem with this draft in 2010 is that there's a lot and a lot of committee backfields, which meaning like a committee backfield is saying like in Kansas City where you got a Jamal Charles and you got a Thomas Jones, and you know what I'm saying, you yourself, you know what I'm saying, you know what Thomas Jones can do, but at the same time you know Jamal Charles is going to get the ball. And as of right now, Jamal Charles is being drafted ahead of Thomas Jones. You see how it just don't make any sense. So what I would say for you to do is, if you get like the 6th pick, like draft you like a Michael Turner. You know, Turner got hurt last year. He still had 10 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And that's with injury. So just imagine if this guy played a full 16 games. Oh, you're talking about fantasy heaven right there. Alright, and please people, I've been doing mock drafts. Why are people taking the Jets defense with the 4th pick in the draft? Please, listen to this. Do not, and I repeat, do not take a defense early. Listen. This is a proven fact. The number 1 ranked fantasy defense never finished the season number 1. So you took them way early for what? It didn't even pay off for you. I had the Ravens last year. They gave me like 2 or 3 games. At least I know for sure 1 game they gave me, and they got me 0. I ended up picking the Saints defense up off free agents, and they just did wonders for me. We had somebody else in the league pick the Indianapolis Colts defense up, and he used them the whole season, you know what I'm saying, and rolled them to the end. So the free agent defenses is pretty much what I said. And as far as kickers, oh man, we don't even draft kickers, man. We really don't want to, but we have to draft a kicker. So just use your last pick in the draft for a kicker. Don't get caught up in these fantasy books where they got the kickers number 1, like get Mason Crosby, get Steven Gostkowski. Please don't do that, because the number 1 kicker and the last kicker, the difference is like 33 points, or the difference is like 20 points. So don't reach for a kicker. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is try to do the running backs. This is still a running back driven league. You know what I'm saying? Quarterbacks can't throw without the running backs. You know what I'm saying? But just be careful, because if you get a sorry running back, they will be putting 8 men in the box all year on your running back. So try to get a running back with an offensive line. Brett Favre has just announced that he's coming back. He's coming back. So Adrian Peterson is going to be a monster behind that offensive line. People, don't look into the fumble syndrome. Please don't buy it. Don't buy into him fumbling. That guy is a monster. Draft him. Do not let him pass you. Don't draft Maurice Jones-Drew or Ray Rice over Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson should never leave past the 2nd pick. Chris Johnson is, you know what I'm saying, he has earned the right to be drafted above Adrian Peterson. He really has. So quick pointers in the 1st round, and also too, as the draft going, it should be like a trend. So pay attention to what people are taking. Like, let's just say, like, if everyone's taking tight ends, since tight ends are so deep, you know what I'm saying, you can still reach for a top tier wide receiver. You don't have to go for a tight end. You can go for a tight. Everybody's going for tight ends in the 4th round. You can just sit back, relax, get you another star wide receiver, get you like a Sidney Rice. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be good. And then, like, in the 8th or 9th round, you could pick you up like a John Carson, Seattle Seahawks. That guy's going to be a monster. When I tell you, John Carson, Seattle Seahawks. Check your boy out. He's going to do his thing this year. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't buy into all that. You know what I'm saying? Leave your comments at the bottom of your page. I will be having my daily fantasy football show. You know what I'm saying? I'm the commissioner of my league. I run pretty much 3 leagues. So if you have any fantasy advice, leave comments. I have a Facebook. Just ask me for it. I've been doing fantasy for roughly 3-4 years, but I'm pretty experienced at it. You know, I put a lot of time into it. I'm no nerd. I still get laid. I go to work, but it's just a hobby. So I'll let your boy.